2 soldiers that walked across there, and then another truck of soldiers that we have. And we're just on our way into the center city there. And there's soldiers there. See, a lot of these windows up here have been ripped out.
Ok, tchau.
Oh.
Como assim? Entrar dentro já, toda a água já dentro. Ficamos já assim, pessoas começaram a fugir, mas como eu mesmo na minha casa, eu teve coragem mesmo.
You come to a place like this, but I think this barbed wire fence says a lot. Where do you sleep? Oh, underneath there. Oh, you got the mosquito net there. Somebody like me, I've never lost everything. Can you walk me through what it's like to lose everything and have to start again in life? Here's the bathroom here behind this house. You married?
Yeah, I'm married. 2 wives.
2 wives?
2 wives. You got 2 wives.
Is that normal here to have 2 wives? Did you lose anybody you know?
Meu irmão Bernardo perdeu meu irmão Nuno, perdeu meu tio.
Mozambique, the only country in the world with a fully automatic weapon on its flag. Natural beauty, massive gas reserves, rich culture and history. A country which has recently faced insurgencies.
The insurgency in Mozambique began in 2017. 700,000 have been displaced.
This was an assault to send a message to the Mozambique government that it's far from over.
Major corruption.
Sitting in court as he's handed a 12-year jail sentence, the son of Mozambique's former president was among 11 people found guilty in a corruption case. It involved state-owned companies illicitly borrowing hundreds of millions of dollars from international banks, but the cash disappeared, and of using a $33 million bribe to buy luxury cars and a mansion in South Africa. The scam had plunged thousands of people into poverty across the country.
Hurricanes.
It's one of the most powerful tropical storms ever recorded in the southern hemisphere.
And left a trail of destruction.
Humanitarian crisis in Mozambique.
Forced out of their homes into flooded roads and pounded by torrential winds and rain.
Let's travel this country, meet the people and hear what they have to say about the current state of Mozambique.
The Mozambican government wants the world to see this.
We are fighting terrorism.
In Southern Africa, Mozambique is contending.
Selling or drinking?
Defeat ISIS in Mozambique.
Since the war started.
With ISIS-linked fighters.
Welcome back to Maputo, capital city of Mozambique. Just on the way to the airport, about to fly up to the northernmost province of Mozambique, Cabo Delgado, which is actually the area where insurgencies have taken place in recent history, and there's been some absolutely atrocious events take place, terrorist attacks.
The northern Mozambique town of Pemba was in the midst of an insurgent rampage. Fires burned across the town as insurgent rebels sacked military installations, banks and shops. The Mozambican army was overwhelmed, attacked from inside the town that had been infiltrated for days. Terrified civilians ran for cover in any compound they could find. The people praying for rescue fashioned messages on the ground. And that message was simple.
Adrian Nell was in Mozambique building an accommodation block with his father and younger brother, but he was killed on Friday as they tried to make their escape from a hotel under attack.
We're going to a city, Pemba, the region where a lot of people have fled from the violence to go to, so we're going to see what the scene is like there. Bom dia. Obrigado. On the UK government travel advice website, the province that we're flying to, Cabo Delgado, is advised against all but essential travel. Parts of it are considered completely off limits. So the UK government essentially says do not travel to this region.
Porque outros sítios já foram evacuados.
Okay, so we've arrived in Pemba, about a 2-hour flight from Maputo there. very expensive flights, like some of the most expensive flights I've seen in the world. It's related to corruption apparently. We're gonna go down, we're gonna go to the slum area where people have fled from ISIS and things, have committed atrocities. It's very strict around here. We're gonna have to be quite careful with the camera because it's a very sensitive area. Hola. Bom dia. Okay, so we've just arrived in Pakit slum. This is one of the biggest slums in Pemba here. Strong military presence here. We got pulled over by the police and documents checked and everything. So kind of a sign of the situation, but this is a really beautiful area here. Lots of fishermen and things and, you know, kids playing football. So you can see behind me there's a mosque here, and that's because up here in the north it's majority Muslim. Down in the south in Maputo and those areas it's majority Christian, so that's one of the main differences up here in the north.
My house here.
Your house?
Yeah.
Okay.
My house and live there. There is living my uncle.
Inside?
Yeah.
How long have you lived here for?
2 anos.
Since the war started?
Yeah. My uncle
Hola.
is there.
Delgado. A nephew and his uncle who fled from the war. They've been living here on the beach for 2 years. And how do you eat?
Don't have food.
Right.
There's no have food there.
You get quite skinny, eh?
Yeah. Eu vi coisas lá, coisas impossíveis. Mas eu só cheguei de ver uma coisa depois, quando vimos que podíamos sair todos. Saíram todos.
What were you worried that might happen to you?
Podia ficar ninguém, porque já dava medo, atacaram outros bairros, então já antes de chegar perto de nós, tínhamos que sair. Se mesmo, como já estavam a ver, já todos estavam anunciados, tinha pessoas a fugir com coisas deles, colchões, o que tinham que tirar, outros já não tinham tempo de tirar, coisas já aconteceram. De repente, não deram aviso, logo já ninguém, outras pessoas saíram sem nada, só pessoas logo já tinham que estar no barco, você deixou roupa, o que aconteceu, ouviram porque avisaram que aí nós daqui a nada vamos estar no terreno.
Have you lost a lot of weight since you came here?
Perdi desde há muito tempo, até que não era assim muito magrinho, sou magrinho. Não tinha roupa, meio esperadas já ajudaram-me, roupas.
What did you used to do for a job? Fisherman.
Fishman.
Okay.
Conseguíamos vender para já outras pessoas, já conseguíamos ter já de volta de dinheiro, comprar arroz, comprar farinha para comer. As coisas lá eram muito fáceis, né? Já do que aqui, porque aqui precisa ter dinheiro, tem que comer dinheiro toda hora. Você aqui se não tem dinheiro não come.
Obrigado. Cheers, brother. Good luck. That man that we interviewed just then was called Abdul. He just came up to me and kind of introduced himself. Obviously he fled from the war and he told me a bit more in detail afterwards, and his parents, he was telling me, was killed by Al-Shabaab, which is the terrorist group, because they stayed in the village and they didn't flee. He fled and he went back and yeah, intense as he started tearing up then, just when I was talking to him. Okay, so I've met a local man here, Abdallah. Nice to meet you. How is life?
Good life, no problem.
You married?
Yeah, I'm married. 2 wives.
2 wives?
2 wives. You got 2 wives.
Is that normal here to have 2 wives?
2 wives and a son and a daughter.
2 wives, a son and a daughter?
Yes.
Busy man, eh?
Busy man, me.
Yeah.
Me fucking captain.
Right.
For boat.
Oh, you're a boat captain?
É normal ter mais de uma esposa aqui?
É normal.
Yeah, it's normal.
Do some people have more than 2?
É sim, tem 3.
Some with 3, some with 4.
So are you going to get some more?
No, you know. Ah, small money is not money. Para mim é muito difícil, porque outras pessoas já fugiram dali de guerra, só de lá fugir de guerra.
And what kind of things did you see in the war?
É, para não então vale a pena, nem contar não dá.
Mas pode contar,
não dá. Nós fugimos muito guerra, fugir ir nas ilhas, vir aí mesmo, na Jarancá também. Dormimos, costumava dormir no mato 5 dias, 6 dias, outras pessoas morreram no mato, fome.
What were you running from exactly?
Não se entende nada, só não me chama Ser Shabab, esses senhores. Mas eram casas, matar pessoas, muitas pessoas, mas foi morto. Muitas pessoas, mas queimar casa, tudo, assim. Não sei se quando te apanhar assim, te cortar. Muita guerra aí, muita aldeia já não está só.
60 villages were raided like that.
Do you think you'll be able to go back home?
I don't know, because o problema é ainda nos mandaram esses para ir em casa, mas outra pessoa não tem maneira, já foram.
So you have to get permission from the government to go back to your own house?
Ainda não mandaram o governo para voltar em casa. Só disse que a guerra ainda não acabou, o governo.
Terrorists are saying that they're doing it in the name of their religion, but you being a Muslim man, what do you think of that?
Mas esses não são muçulmanos, só disse que quando vem aqui, disse que nós não somos muçulmanos, nós queremos orientar pessoas para rezar, ser muçulmanos, não sei o que, mas não são muçulmanos nada, são mentirosos.
Just along this beach, people have come and settled from the north and they're just living in front of the pre-existing slum, and then they set up these little shacks on the beach here and that's where they sleep. What we've heard is that the safety is increasing and the security is increasing in the north. Some areas are still restricted, so it's quite sad, but hopefully things are going to get more secure up there. So we've come into the city and we've come to this really nice beach club. You can see they've got like cabanas. There's Edmilson. We've also met up with Edmilson's friend. Interesting though, here's the beach and there's a barbed wire fence here. Something interesting happened just after we did that last interview. This guy came out of nowhere and started kind of saying that we need authorization to film. So we kind of just said, oh, like, we'll get out of there, but he really did not look happy. Have to be really careful here talking about the current issues. The powers that be really do not like it being covered per se, so have to be really careful with what I say and how I cover it and have to keep certain things hush-hush. But you can see here it's quite interesting considering where we've just been. Abdul sleeping on the beach there and, you know, fleeing from horrors, and then you come down the coast a little bit and you come to a place like this, but I think this barbed wire fence says a lot. Anyway, we're going to enjoy a meal here and I'll show you, you know, kind of the extreme contrast in the classes here.
Yeah, nice. Simply beautiful.
Okay, so it's the following morning and we're just on our way into the center city there. And there's soldiers there. As you can see, quite strict around here and quite tense, but yeah, we're about to head into the city center. There's a whole truck of soldiers there now. They just drove past. Edmilson, what does this sign here say?
Well, the sign says unity, peace, development. Frelimo is the force of change.
Frelimo is the government?
Yeah, it's the main party. Yeah, the party that's ruling the nation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Where did you see those guys?
There was like 2 soldiers that walked across there and then another truck of soldiers that were here. Okay, so we're here with Laura, a local vendor.
Negociante.
Vendo o quê?
Eu vendo comida.
And do you have lots of customers?
Não tenho muitos clientes porque não há dinheiro.
How do you survive if there's not many customers?
Viver, eu costumo diminuir a quantidade de arroz. Cozinha 10 quilos, 8, para ser eu me ajudar. Começar essa guerra, quando comecei essa guerra, nós de vez não temos nada, estamos a sofrer. Estamos a sofrer mesmo com família. Por exemplo, eu e minha mãe está em Nampula a sofrer sem comida. Eu estou aqui a lutar.
So it was too dangerous in your hometown?
Sim.
What was happening there?
Era guerra mesmo, matava a pessoa, queimava a casa. Quando encontra uma pessoa aí em casa, enquanto ainda não fugiu, pegava aquela pessoa, matava logo mesmo. Agora eu levei minha mãe, mandei na ampulha, eu estou aqui procurar para ele.
Did you lose anybody you know?
Perdeu meu irmão Bernardo, perdeu meu irmão Nuro, perdeu meu tio, 3 pessoas que perderam, minha família.
Do you think there is a way to make the north more safe and stable?
Não.
E por quê?
Se não temos nada, como que vai... Temos casa. Era 4 casas queimaram. Nós é que fugimos assim mesmo, sem nada, até aqui.
Okay, so we're here with João. How's life?
Minha vida foi difícil, já não tenho emprego, assim estou a fazer pescado, ainda não tenho emprego, mas estou na escola, estou a fazer 12º desse ano.
Are you from Pemba originally, or did you come from a different area?
Aqui enquanto para chegar aqui em Pemba me levou meu tio, estava trabalhando nas pompas, então meu tio perdeu a vida. Eu não conseguia ir mais lá, depois fiquei aqui mesmo e casei e tenho 4 filhos. Até agora estou aqui mesmo a viver a maneira, mas o meu serviço estou a fazer pescado, mas estou a tentar maneira na escola porque estou na 12ª.
É hível, tu basta.
We've come to this local bike mechanic on the side of the road and we've met Kidu.
Yeah.
And is this a good business for you?
Yeah, it's very good for
It
me.
is?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were just in the market and people saying that their business isn't good, but yours is good?
Every day I make a job, you can get money.
So it's a great business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Obrigado.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao. So we've come to this nice beach resort, Edmilson, and it's almost a completely different world, eh?
It is. It definitely is.
You're having a chicken schnitzel on the beach at this nice resort.
You know, I didn't even know what a chicken schnitzel was.
Right.
So yeah, it's fantastic, man. Very different from the reality on the other side of the town.
So I think the contrast speaks for itself in this region. It's quite extreme. One thing that I want to talk about, you know, just while I'm kind of alone, is people here are very concerned about using the T word. The T word is terrorism, terrorists. The government apparently, from what I've been told, really don't like people using that word. They more prefer insurgency. From my understanding, there are terrorists up in the north, and that's what this whole kind of conflict and war has been about. But apparently using that term is very taboo and you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. Even though some people we interviewed yesterday, you heard they were saying Al-Shabaab, which is obviously a terrorist organization. I want to, you know, paint Mozambique in a way that you can see that it's got beautiful, beautiful beaches, like untouched beauty. These resorts that we're going into, there's hardly anybody there. There's definitely a huge potential here for tourism. There are like quite a lot of expats from different countries that come and settle here and open dive resorts and things down the coastline. I mean, obviously you've got the darkness mixed in with it. It's actually quite an expensive country to travel. The return flights up here and back down to Maputo costs 500 euros, over 500 US dollars. In my experience in this region of Africa, flights are generally significantly cheaper than that. There's only one airline and it has the complete monopoly, and there's only like generally one flight to each location a day. In other areas in the region, you can get multiple flights per day to different areas of the countries. But you know, the airport was basically empty. I think it was only our flight from the airport at that time. Even flying in here, there's not that many international flights. It's not a very busy airport considering, you know, the size of the country and the population. So there is a bit of a monopoly going on here with flights. Okay, Edmilson, so we're back in Maputo, the capital.
Yeah.
How was it for you seeing the displaced people who have fled from horrors and their family members have been killed and things?
Extremely sad. You know, seeing these things in the television is one thing, but actually talking to these people, it just hits you like really hard. And we are all one country, we are all one people. None of us deserve to go through that. I just hope that the government finds solutions to help them and all of us.
Obrigado.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's great.
Till tomorrow, man.
Quite the trip there. I think overall, considering the situation up there in the north, it's kind of saturated with soldiers in many areas. And, you know, considering we didn't have any permits and things, I think, you know, we were really fortunate to have met, you know, those at least 3 people who had been through, you know, the horrors of the insurgency. I'll leave some resources below if you want to learn more about that, and if you want to help donate to some charities that are working up in the north. I'm not affiliated. I'll just leave some that I found are doing some good work up there. Airporto.
Okay, ciao.
Ciao, ciao. We've just arrived in a place called Calimene, which is about a 2-hour flight this morning from Maputo, the capital. This area here was hit by a Cyclone Freddy.
Mozambique, the southern African nation, is being pummeled by Cyclone Freddy for a second time, with strong winds and rain causing widespread flooding.
The people of Mozambique had only started to rebuild when they were battered a second time by Cyclone Freddy. Humanitarian aid is en route to areas most devastated, but with many buildings not built to withstand such destruction, it could be a significant amount of time before many will be able to return home.
We're on our way to a local neighborhood that was quite badly hit, and we're going to meet the people and hear what it was like to be hit by this absolutely devastating cyclone. Boa tarde. So we've come in and you can see a lot of the houses are being rebuilt. There's a guy in this house building, and what they do is they put the sticks up like this and then they fill them with rocks and then they put concrete over it. So it's easy to see that this place has been absolutely decimated, and even the ground's still wet here. There's no like infrastructure of bridges. You can just see all these houses are basically just barely hanging on. Very friendly people and very open people as well. It's really quite astonishing. So this Cyclone Freddy actually started off the coast of Australia, came all the way across the Indian Ocean, went through Mozambique and then did a U-turn and came back. So Mozambique was actually hit twice by the same cyclone.
Formed near Australia over a month ago, the storm travelled 4,000 miles west and hit the coast of Africa before returning in a rare loop trajectory a month later.
So we've met some local ladies here. Did you have to rebuild this house when Freddy came? Did it knock it down? How did the cyclone change your lives?
Their lives changed for the bad. Left them with no money, no plates to eat, no forks, no nothing, you know, clothes and stuff like that. It seems like they have no help from the local government. And they're stranded, they feel stranded.
If they could say something to the government, what would it be?
A mensagem é apoio, né? Como eles estão a falar aqui, é no risco, não podemos nós vivermos aqui. Se tivesse condições, podia nos indemnizar, nós escolher onde nós quisermos para nós sentar com nossos filhos. Porque aqui estamos mal, estamos a ver que é no risco. Se tivesse condições, nós não estaríamos aqui.
O próprio governo está falando, mas esse bairro não me pertence.
Para nós sairmos.
Any charities come in here and help at all?
Não ajuda, mas ajudar deles.
The only thing that they gave them was like 3 liters of water per family and nothing else. Not even rice and other things to eat. They don't even have mosquito nets, so they just sleeping like this, exposed to get malaria and other diseases.
What do they do for work to earn money?
Nós tentamos fazer nossos maridos uma maneira de viver. Por exemplo, o meu marido vai fazer táxi de bicicleta para conseguirmos dar de comer criança. Outros também é aquilo ali, fazer qualquer coisa. Apanhar negócios pequeninos, assim estamos a viver a maneira, fizemos negócio, por exemplo, essa minha irmã aqui vende banana, compra bananinhas, aquela já ia vender, estamos a sobreviver assim mesmo, da maneira.
See, this is the bones, and then they'll fill it with rocks. All the rocks are in there, piled up. The human resilience here is something else.
Deve estar por aí assim, a ver.
Boa tarde. The whole village has come out to see the foreigner with the camera. Quite remarkable. Boa tarde. Here's the bathroom here behind this house. You can see another bathroom there. Even the landscape was just stripped back to its raw dirt. This place would have looked completely different before. She's kindly invited us into her house. Olá, boa tarde.
Boa tarde.
Obrigado. So this is the kitchen here. And did this house get destroyed?
A casa também foi, essa casa foi atingida com o ciclone, ficou destruída.
Sim, todo caiu, todo que estava aqui. Não estava ramaramo com a cabulana. Essa casa caía, não estava assim, estava aí fora assim. Pusemos quando voltamos da escola.
How long did you have to leave for before you could come back?
Fizemos lá mês. Aquilo aconteceu em março até abril, enquanto estamos lá mesmo na escola. Sim. Todas as nossas coisas, televisor, não sei o que foi com água.
Has anybody helped you?
Não, ainda não fomos ajudados, só estávamos a ter tanto arroz lá mesmo quando estávamos na escola, 3 copos, um dia sim, um dia não, assim mesmo, mas quando voltamos ainda não fomos ajudados.
And where do you sleep?
Então, aqui, no chão.
Oh, underneath there. Oh, you got the mosquito net there. Right. So you just sleep here on the ground?
The bed went with the water.
The bed got swept away?
Yeah.
And did you lose most of your possessions?
Sim. Televisor e tudo que estava aqui dentro foi estragado.
So you have to basically start from the beginning?
Então, vai começar do zero mesmo.
Sim, vamos começar do zero até. Nem roupa, tudo assim, estamos a totelar agora.
Somebody like me, I've never lost everything. Can you walk me through what it's like to lose everything and have to start again in life?
Vamos começar do zero porque meu marido já conseguiu job no mês passado, mas ainda não começou a receber. Era taxista, agora a bicicleta dele foi com água. Assim começou esse mês mesmo, ainda não recebeu. Quando começar a receber, vamos continuarmos tudo.
Obrigada. Obrigada. This is the children's bedroom. How many children do you have?
Quantos filhos tem?
3.
3. So Edmilson, obviously you've seen this on the news and everything. You're from the capital city of Maputo. What's it like being here on the ground, meeting the people and seeing the devastation?
When you actually go to the places and see it, it's just really, really different and, really sad. I really have no words for the kind of misery that, I'm seeing right now.
And what about the people and how they've been so open and receptive to us?
I mean, this is the people of Mozambique. We are all open, even through the difficulties that we go, we still help each other. And, I was pretty happy and to see that all the people wanted us to visit their houses and see the situation.
These little boys are hammering on pieces of old rusty corrugated iron with nails. Obrigado. Obviously that's a very sad scene, right? But just the spirit and of the people and everybody's like screaming and laughing while, they're recycling these destroyed bits of metal. It's a very interesting kind of combination of very, very sad but also very uplifting that these people have absolutely nothing. They've lost everything and they're still just laughing, and it's just, it's quite touching actually. Ciao. So we've just come downtown, and this is like in the center of Kalimene, quite a large city, around 400,000 people, and you can see where the cyclone has just come through here. There's smashed windows up here actually, and you can see it's just ripped the whole park here to pieces. See, a lot of these windows up here have been ripped out. This house in here has completely lost its roof. You can see here. There you go.
Okay, ciao.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, you can go. You can go. Obrigado.
Obrigado.
She asked me to film her.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's the following day. We're just jumping in the car now, and we're about to head out to a place that was really badly damaged by Hurricane Freddy. Should be about an hour's drive right out to the coast, where the hurricane actually came in and just wiped out entire villages and settlements. Here we are in the center of Kalimene by a mosque. So many people use bikes in this city that they actually have bike lanes, which is, I don't think I've ever seen a bike lane anywhere else in this region of Africa at least. I mean, I'm sure they exist. We've come to the coast, and I just want to again highlight the beauty of Mozambique. You know, the coastlines and the untouched beauty of the beaches. It's definitely something to keep in mind about this country, because it's a huge selling point, that's for sure. Bom dia. So we've come to this house here, and this man is rebuilding this house that was destroyed by the cyclone. They're using recycled fishing net. Just so resourceful, and this is solid. This is so strong. And this is made of coconut palm. Are you the main builder of the town, or this is your house?
É minha casa.
What happened when the cyclone hit? Were you here in your house?
A minha casa, meu telefone perdeu. Minha esposa também estava doente quando o ciclone veio. Apareceu lá para 18 horas, mas estava com minha esposa dentro. Sim, é isso que eu falei. Minha esposa partir ao pão. É por isso eu também não consegui amarrar essa casa também, para não estar a viver aqui.
Did you lose everything that you owned?
Sim.
Has anybody helped you at all, like from a government or any charities or anything like that?
Nada.
Nothing. So we've come down the road, and you can see more of the devastation here. So you can see like these shacks were just torn to shreds, and then they've gone and picked up, oh, somebody's cooking here. They've gone and picked up the broken pieces of metal and, you know, put them back together. Like we saw the young boy making earlier today, see? They're just kind of taken what they can find and thrown it together to rebuild their homes. Some are a bit rough and then some are really well done. They've built like a kind of a dike here to stop the water flooding in, right?
Yeah.
And what are those kids doing over there in the mud, digging holes?
They're collecting mud to put into the houses.
Colônia aqui passou mesmo de verdade. Iniciou numa sexta-feira de manhã. Começou a sair grande maré lá embaixo nos bairros. Então naquele maré nós estávamos pensando de que a maré sempre ia assim, nesse nosso bairro sempre ia assim mesmo. Nos primeiros dias numa sexta-feira. Então, aquele maré voltou. Então, à tarde, é que surgiu maré muito grande. Nós já referimos, sempre é do hábito, né? Então, aquele maré mesmo veio mesmo de verdade. Não perdeu mesmo até quando a água começou a encher, aquela hora de 17, 18 até 19. Che! Como assim? Entrar dentro já, toda a água já dentro. Como? Esse não é maré, daí começou a ventania. Então, começamos a ver, é mulheres saírem do bairro. Esse bairro aqui hoje é dia do quê? De ciclone que está a ser dito, esse mesmo, já está a aparecer mesmo. Epa, ficamos assim, pessoas começaram a fugir, mas como eu mesmo na minha casa, eu tive coragem mesmo, meu irmão, não fugi. Aquele todo sofrimento, eu assim mesmo não tenho marido, não tenho nada com crianças aí. Meus netos, eu pensei de tirar as crianças. Eu disse para meus filhos, saiam lá daqui, eu vou ficar aqui mesmo, ao cuidar minhas coisas. Aquilo que eu vou conseguir salvar, vou salvar aqui mesmo. Mamãe, vamos lá, eu disse, não, eu não vou sair, eu vou ficar aqui mesmo. Até água me terminar até aqui nas mamas. Aqui mesmo, a situação está mal. Saí também, deixei a casa abandonada, mas estávamos mal.
At that point, what did you do?
Quando a maré subiu muito, mas aqui, como dois já ajudou, já estamos vivos, mas muito estamos a chorar por causa das crianças. Estão a estudar muito a rasca. Já nem roupa, nem uniforme, crianças não têm. Estamos a batalhar como conseguir uniformes para crianças.
How long until you could come back to your house?
Fiquei 3 dias sem chegar na minha casa. Nós só queremos só ajuda, porque ainda nós ainda não temos boas condições, estamos a viver só a rasca. Estamos a viver a rasca, mas pedimos meio de ajuda mesmo. Casas ainda não estão prontas, nem para maticar, nem para cobrir.
You're cooking something now?
Feijão, sim, cana.
See?
Cana.
Cana? Beans, see? Can I have a look?
É feijão.
See?
É feijão.
Oh, nice. I'll just stop here.
Sim.
Vale a pena. Tudo mal acabou.
Was it expensive to rebuild the house?
Sim, foi muito caro mesmo, mas também até
ainda
agora
não está bem, só ajeitamos sim.
They still want to do more, but for now they don't have the conditions to do so, so they're just putting some mud.
Depois da manhã, mas de todo, não temos
Agora
nenhum
já não vem
resultado.
ninguém.
Não vem ninguém, sim. Só o único grupo só que nós estamos a ver que nos ajudou aquela comida mesmo. Mas a maioria que entraram aqui, nada.
You're asking the government to help more, obviously, right?
Sim, precisamos de ajuda, sim.
So we're gonna get one of these bicycle taxis here. This is actually what this is actually what a majority of the locals use to get around in this city of Kilimani. Kilimani. See? Blanco caro.
Yeah.
Obrigado. Muito obrigado. What's taking you guys so long?
We're here, man. Finally.
Is that your first time?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, very much.
It's the local sports stadium. You can see the rebuilding and things. The roof was entirely ripped off by the hurricane. Obrigado.
Ok, obrigado.
Ciao, ciao.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.
Okay, so we're back in Maputo. It's been quite the trip. It's coming to a close. How do you feel about the trip, Edmilson?
Well, it was nice. It was nice actually seeing the real Mozambique, you know.
Yeah.
We just closed up in this bubble sometimes, and we don't even know what's going on in the other parts of the country. Seeing the people that fled from the war in Pemba, and then to see the people that were affected with the Cyclone Freddy. Even with all of those difficulties, they're trying to make their best to live their lives. The Mozambique here in Maputo is very different than the Mozambique in the north and the center.
But even in Maputo, you've seen some things that you didn't know
Exactly,
existed, right?
in the slums, the condition that some people are living, and the hardships they go through to bring food to the table, it's pretty difficult.
Are you positive about the future of your country?
Positive, well, that's a really big word. We still have a long way to go, definitely, with the right government, doing the right things, and actually being humane to the people. We have a chance.
If you could give any kind of message to the world, what would it be?
See the invisible people, you know, open your hearts to the world, to those that you can't see, I mean, that we see sometimes, but we choose to ignore because we don't really know what's going on in their lives. So just open your eyes to those people.
And that beautifully articulated message from Edmilson seems like the perfect place to leave this series. Mozambique was a beautiful trip. It was very eye-opening, very sad in times, obviously, but very beautiful people and landscapes. I want to give a huge thank you to Edmilson for helping me out. If you're ever in Mozambique and you want a great guide, I'll leave his information in the description below, and he can help you with any logistics in the country. He can give you tours. He's a top guy. Thanks to everybody watching this series. I want to give a special thanks to my Patreons for constantly supporting me. I've made about a 5-minute video of leftover interviews from this video. That's on my Patreon now if you want to check it out. It also involves a story about how we got scammed at an airport by a taxi driver. Otherwise, a huge thank you to everybody for watching my videos. And again, I'll leave some resources down below if you want to donate towards cyclone relief or help with the victims of the insurgency. I'll see you in the next series. Thank you so much for watching, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.